over the Skyway Bridge now. Awesome. Awesome view out today. It's beautiful outside. If you've seen our first ride along series, we actually shot that right at the base of this bridge. Really exciting day today. I'm actually heading over to the embroidery shop. I'm gonna drop off some hats. Got the XJ filled up with boxes. Drop them off, hopefully get a little sample.
Here's the process. When I take the hat, all I do is I put it on what's called a hat hoop, and that's right here. So I slide it onto a little metal bracket that straps it down. That's the hat hoop. And then that slides onto the machine. Now I've already got it preset for the location because it's just repeat. One off, one on, one off, one on. So I've got you set up to hit this corner here so it hits the exact same location in on every single hat every time. And we'll change the color depending upon what color hat we're doing just by pushing a few buttons up here on the computer. Right now we're doing the black hats and white.
advised. By recreating some activities performed in this video, you may pose a risk to yourself or others. We are not professionals, and our opinions and our actions are provided solely for the entertainment purposes only. Blah, 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 blah.
Ow! Ella?
What?
You give me a Band-Aid?
Yeah, I think we're out.
Oh, What's up, everybody? Hope everyone is having a wonderful Memorial weekend. We have a ton of stuff going on today's episode, and before I get to that, we're gonna go ahead and introduce our normal sidekicks. We got Joe 101 over there. We got Von Dangler and Sam Bob. Say hi, guys.
Hey, great day weekend.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Looking forward to it.
Hey everyone, hope everyone's having a great weekend, and it's good to be here.
Awesome. So I'm really excited about today's show. We got a new camera. We got some new merch. If you guys haven't noticed, sporting the merch here. And if you guys remember right, the first few live streams that we had, we talked about getting out you guys some free merch for racking up all those hard-earned Moto bucks. And today is the day that we're going to be giving away one of these hats for free, and it's going to be to whoever the leader is. And just a little bit, I'll go ahead and take a look at the leaderboard to find out who those champions are that's got a shot at getting the logoed hat. Also, there's going to be a ton of Motobucks flying around today. So as soon as we get the races start, we're going to actually start them out. They're going to be 5 Motobucks every race, all race or all stream long. So there's gonna be a little bit extra there. Also, one of the things that I would like from my audience is to go ahead and help me out. So I got a pen over here and I got a notebook, and anytime that someone hears me say either or let's see, go ahead, type that in the live chat. The second that happens, we're going to go ahead and point it out, and that person will get 10 extra Motobucks. I'll keep a tally, and I'll mark it down in my book, and we'll get that tallied up at the end of the race to find out who's gonna get the free merch today. So I'm not going to say the 2 words again, so if you missed it, that's on you guys. Those 2 words, if I say those, then make sure you post it in the live comments. And like I said, you'll get 10 Motobucks. It's going to be tough, but hopefully you guys can help me out. All right.
And those words, just to clarify, what were they again, Dustin?
That'll be
Not
slick,
gonna
this
do it.
guy.
There we go. So let's see, my brother Christopher, he's up there. He typed them in the. It's so hard not to say those. You guys are gonna catch me. I know it. So, if you've seen on the thumbnail, today we're actually going to be working on carburetors. This is awesome because there's a lot of different uses for this knowledge, and we're going to get into that in just a second. Before. See if anybody caught that one. First person to type it in there.
Go.
My brother says you owe me 20, but I don't believe I said. Oh, there we go. Lance, got you down for 10 Motobucks, buddy. Before I forget, let's get over here and let's get some shout outs for who we have in the live stream. Let's see, we got Joel. I believe that is Sam Bob's brother. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, that's my brother.
Nice. Appreciate the support. Awesome. So hard not to say that.
What's horrible is we can say it as much as we want to, and we don't have to worry about it. But
go ahead.
Let's see.
All right. That was not one of the words. So I think that I'm gonna end up shifting to just saying "all right" as my filler.
All right.
We have Christopher Koch, my brother. Awesome, thanks. We have Alicia Conley. Big shout out to my sister. I think this is the third stream in a row she's been here on. Let's see. We got Kyle Atkins.
There you go.
All right.
Aaron Hafer
We got
got you.
Kyle Atkins. We got my wife, Mamie. Who else do we got in the live stream? Hopefully I'm not
Aaron
missing
Hafer,
anybody.
Kyle Atkins, Chris
We got
Koch.
Aaron. Yep. Nice to see you, Aaron. We'll be talking after the show probably. We got my buddy Lance. And all right. So hopefully I didn't miss any so that one does not count because I was explaining it. If I miss if I miss some, you guys help me out on the chat so I make sure I don't miss any. So right now I just have Lance and Aaron. They got a 10 Motobuck bonus each. So real quick, I'm gonna hop over, and before we get started, I'm gonna check out some of our high rollers here to find out who's gonna have a chance at getting this free merch, and organize it by points. Oh, and as a reminder, present staff, Joe 101, Sam Bob, Von Dangler, myself, we are obviously not going to be included in this merch giveaway, so it would be the next person in line. We got Looney. That would be my nephew Brennan. He is the leader right now at this moment. He has 736. Hope he gets here on this live stream. I got Xavier. He's at 565. Next down in the line is got Lance pulling up with 328. We have my daughter Olivia, 415. That's the few top ones. But like I said, we're gonna have a lot of Motobucks flying around today, and so if you're a little bit further down on that list, don't worry about it. And how do you go ahead and check? How do you, Von Dangler, if you want to tell these guys how they can check how many Motobucks they have?
Absolutely. Thank you very much for that, Dustin. All right, folks, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to check your points throughout the evening, go ahead and type in exclamation points, and Motobot will respond with your response, as well as all your points that you have earned up to date.
All right. Thank you. Without further delay, we're going to go ahead and get these races kicked off. Joe, why don't you kick off these races for us?
Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, live from the Sunshine State, it's time to race! Wager your Motobucks for the chance at Project Moto Grand Prix Glory. Once the track has been cleared by our hard-working Motobot, that's your cue to type exclamation point race in the live chat. And good luck! Now, let's get it on!
That's right. That's right. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate the race intro here. I'm going to go ahead and enable these races, and we're going to start them right now. See, we got first off, we got Xavier in the house.
Nice.
Thanks,
Yeah,
buddy.
I just texted him,
Appreciate
and then
it,
I saw him
appreciate
pop
it.
up. Right on.
Nice. The race should be available any second here. Get our hardworking Motobot. He goes to work here. Let me check that.
Jessica Tubins. Sorry if I mispronounced that.
Dad, you did it correctly, sir.
Awesome.
All right.
I believe it's pronounced Tabines, but it's not a big deal.
That's my wife. It's my wife, man. Don't get me in trouble. Come on.
That's the only reason I said that.
Hey, it could be
So-
10 minutes later, okay?
So while this first race is kicking off, we're going to go ahead and switch scenes over to what we're actually going to be working on today, and besides just goofing around. And make sure, like I said, call me out if I say those two words today, and we'll get you guys some extra loot. All right, so I actually bought a bike recently, and this is one of the things that you're going to be working on the most if you have a bike that does not run. more than likely it's going to be the carburetor. Now, the carburetor is, they get gummed up. There's a whole lot of things that can go wrong with them. But the thing I love about carburetors so much is that they save me money. And the reason for that is a lot of people don't know how to work on them. Whether it's your lawnmower, your old 70 Chevelle, or your motorcycle, whatever it is, a lot of times if your carburetor gets gummed up, they don't know how to work on them, and then they get thrown on like Craigslist or something like that, dirt cheap. Hey, here's this motorcycle, doesn't run. Why don't you go ahead and take it off my hands for a couple $100, which is exactly what I did. Now, I took this bike. I think I paid $500 for this motorcycle, and decided to rip off the carburetors, and we're going to be disassembling them today. So just so you guys didn't have to sit and watch me disassemble the whole thing, I actually made a little video for you guys, and we'll play that here in the background, just a little time lapse. I thought this was going to be an easy thing, and most carburetors aren't too difficult to get out. However, this V4 monster was kind of ridiculous, and we'll talk through that a little bit as we go. But we'll have that playing in the live stream in the background. Got Jessica Tubins, nice. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate the support.
Dustin, what kind of bike is this you're pulling it off of?
That is a 82 Honda Sabre B45, I believe. Actually, it's a pretty crazy engine. Has some known issues, and I'm going to be building a cafe racer out of this one shortly. I just wanted to pick the bike that had the crustiest, dirtiest carburetors, and I could go ahead and show you guys how gunky they can get sometimes. I have not pulled apart these carburetors yet. They're sitting on my bench, and you'll see them here in a second. I'm going to try to start pulling them apart, show you guys some tricks, some things that you might run into. But for the most part, I literally have no idea what I'm going to run into pulling these carburetors apart. I've never pulled apart V4 carburetor setup before, so we'll
Was this
see
one
how
sitting
goes.
outside or was it sitting in a garage?
Oh, this was sitting outside somebody's trailer, and it was disgusting. Joe 101 over there will attest. When we pulled this thing into my garage, this
Yeah.
thing smelled so bad. Just
Yeah.
smelled like, I don't even want to explain it. It was awful. So here you go. I'm just trying to get all those fuel lines off and stuff like that. Sometimes like the inline fours and stuff like that, they're pretty easy to pull off. Sometimes you have to heat up the boots and stuff like that to go them loose. We'll talk about those little tricks later. But yeah, that's the air cleaner. Everything just disintegrated. Oh, there we go.
Oh, here
Got
we
the first
go.
race. Who we got?
It's Aaron.
Aaron's our first winner. Nice.
Aaron,
Give her a clap there.
congratulations.
How do you pronounce that? Heifer?
No,
Heifer.
Hafer.
Nice. Good
Hafer.
job, Aaron.
Heifer?
Hafer. Technically, it's Mrs. Von Dangler, but for
Right.
some reason she keeps that YouTube name so she
So
can
she
win
starts
anonymous
off.
things like this.
She starts off with the counting the extra 10 Moto bucks for catching me, and the first race. Nice.
Look at that.
So
Now
a lot
for
of you
this
guys,
set, for this carb set, is it just dual carb or what?
quad carb.
Quad carb. Oh wow. Right
Yeah,
on.
so this is a V4. 90 degrees there. Yeah, this is awful. So I thought it was gonna be fairly easy. You'll see. So I'm trying to get the. Let's see. I'm trying to take the side of the airbox off right there. Let's see. Hopefully. Oh, you know what? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna skip this forward a little bit. I may have actually. So why don't you
Oh,
tell
dude.
them about what was the deal with the carburetors from the bike that I bought from you there,
So
Bob?
I had a 79 CB750 that I was going to cafe first project. And I bought this thing. It was
Hold on.
running. It was running sort of. And then I was like what, 2.5 hours away, I think. And so I know Dustin wanted to buy it. You were either looking for a CB750 or something,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
That was a time where it really started ramping up, and they're really hard to find. But it just ran like crap. And then I know you got it. You know, you bought it from me, picked it up, and then you said that. What did you say that? Like the main jet was sitting inside of the bowl.
Oh, right.
When you...
Right. So I apologize. I actually had on the live stream there. I had the wrong video. That one was way longer. So this one that I'm doing here is cut up a little bit more, a little bit shorter, and I apologize for that. It'll start back over at the beginning, but it's gonna be it'll run through it a lot quicker than the other video. I realized that I had the long one planned. Anyways, yes, Sam Bob, that was funny. So it wasn't running quite right. So I actually took the bowls of the carburetor off and found all the jets, and 2 of the 4 carburetors, the jets were sitting in the bottom of the bowl.
What happened?
And so I thought it was running a little bit rich, and
Tell me.
I was definitely right on that.
Why? Come here. Explain. Stop.
All right.
Stop whining. Tell me what's going on.
Is that Joe?
That's Joe.
Yeah, Joe, I think you're on live.
Talking to his kid over there.
Sorry, guys.
No, that's
you're,
fine.
you're good. I was like, is that Joe?
I think he's trying to get him started young. You know?
While this is happening, I'm going to show you guys a little experiment, and I'm going to explain a little bit about carburetors. This is kind of a cool little experiment that show you guys how they work. I was actually talking to Sam Bob earlier, and he was kind of questioning, you know, exactly what happens in the carburetor, and it's actually pretty easy to understand if you know a simple concept, and I'll show you in 1 second.
It's actually really difficult, but whatever. It's not a big deal.
I got this. Pretty cool.
I mean, we all can't be pros, you know?
Yeah.
We can't be like Dustin, you know?
Be like Dustin.
All right.
Like they say, be like Mike, you gotta be like Dustin.
I don't understand what you're saying because it's turning pretty easily.
All right. So right here, I got some compressed air from my compressor, and I have a glass of water. So
Hold on a second.
Because I like to ride like my scooter like a little fast, but then like when I can turn it.
Is that turning?
Yeah, when I ride it pretty fast, because I like to ride stuff pretty fast.
hey Joe, I don't know if he knows he's on the live stream.
You got a WD-40 that front end, Joe. You gotta get it turning fast, bud.
Don't I have it muted?
No.
Oh my God! Sorry, guys.
That's all right, man. Go take care of your buddy. All right. So, as I was saying, while he gets his kid's bike running good and fast. So this, if you picture this to be a carburetor, right? It's a glass of water with a straw in it. Now, picture a carburetor as this is the carburetor, this is the bowl, this is where the fuel is sitting in the bottom of it. Now, carburetors do not suck up gas and throw it into your engine. What it does is it mixes the air and the fuel into a specific ratio that's going to run well depending on whatever RPM you're trying to get to. Now, I'm going to have to move my camera a little bit so you guys, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. But so this is the bowl where the fuel sits, right? And then this is what picture the straw to be one of your jets, okay? Now the intake of your carburetor will be coming from this side, and then this side will be the engine. What happens is it's called the Venturi effect. And instead of sucking fuel, what it's going to do is it's going to run air past the jet, and as the air passes the jet, it's going to pull the fuel up with it. I'm pretty stoked about this because I did this in my mind. I wasn't even sure if it was going to work, and when it actually worked, I was pretty stoked about it. But this will give you an actual visual representation of what happens. So I'm just going to run air over this straw. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
that's what
man.
I've been. This is what I've been doing wrong all these
Right.
years.
So you can see the air, or the water was being pulled out by the air running by the jet, and carburetors work like exactly the same. And
It's like
see,
watching Pigman's World.
I'll be pulling it apart here so you can get a little bit better example close up. I got my POV. I'm sitting on my workbench, and we'll be digging into these carburetors, and you guys will be able to
Pretty
get
cool.
up close. Let's see. Uh-oh. I wonder if you'll make pop that.
Yeah, I think you got caught twice there, Dustin.
Did I? Who
Yeah,
got
Aaron
him?
Hafer got you, and so did Kyle Atkins.
All right, I'll write him down. Let's see. Whoop. So Kyle, all right. Kyle's got 10. And did you say Aaron had another one?
Yeah, she got you again.
Wow.
Watch out, she's gonna get you.
She wants that hat. Flag is out. Did she have the last race? Or is that the first one yet? Okay.
Yeah, she won the first race.
You drinking from that water?
Yeah, so this was pretty gunky. All right, my GoPro up here in the POV just ran out of batteries, so I'm gonna switch that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to pulling these carbs off the one I just bought. I just bought a new bike last week, and this guy was like, "Oh, it runs a little rough," and I actually rode it back to my house, and I knew right away. I was like, "Oh, I can pull the carbs. It's gonna run perfect because it's a it's a twin cylinder engine that's
Cool.
super reliable." So I'm like, "What's that?"
What bike did you get?
I picked up a '79 KC 750, and
Yeah.
so they made the later KC 750s. They made the 4 cylinders, and it's kind of hard to find a twin. So to give you an idea of in California, like this thing lasted an hour once it hit Craigslist, and it was actually a really good deal. But I knew, I'm glad that Dustin's doing this week because I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna pull these carbs, I'm gonna clean them out, and the thing's gonna run like it's brand new because everybody's really scared of carburetors and messing them up. So.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where
The other thing that I was mentioning to Samba was a lot of times these carburetor kits that you can get are like $20, maybe $30. They'll come with all your jets, all your gaskets, all your slides, all your needle valves, all that stuff. So you don't even have to worry about like cleaning them. There, if you see, I finally got the carburetors out. It was ridiculous. I ended up having to take off the fuel tank, take off one of the coolant lines, taking off oh my gosh, I'm having a brain. The things I hook up. Help me out, Sam Bob. Things I hook up the spark plugs.
Spark plug boots?
Coils.
The coils.
Oh,
I had to take the coils off. I had to take the top of the airbox off.
yeah, ignition coils because you pull vacuum probably using that coolant line, don't you? Is that how that was running here?
I don't think so on this set.
Some of the older not like V twins like this, but some of the older V twins into the 2000s that I don't know if they had to set up this. I've never seen one of these pulled apart before. This is pretty cool.
Pretty crazy.
This is it's gonna be a pretty unique project because when you were telling me about it, I was like, I've never.
Track is cleared. We can do another race. If you guys want to get on that race, track is cleared.
There we go.
Go ahead and type that exclamation point race. So we're pretty much done with that. So that was a breakdown of pulling the carbs off. Now that video was sped up. That actually took me probably a couple hours. Maybe an hour and a half or so. And of course, pulling away, I got to get some glimpses of the bikes I got over there. I'm going to switch back to the desk and POV. And make sure my POV camera is working so we can get up here, get close. I think it's not. Let me get that started. So the carburetor, that's really funny, Sam Bob. That wasn't the only thing that was wrong with that bike that you sold to me. What else was wrong with it?
Oh, so so I wanted to take it for a quick spin, and there's a little trick you do if the clip-ons you're using to your fork tubes are too big, you cut some aluminum out of a can. And I'm not saying do this. Do not do this. You cut some aluminum. You use it as a shim in between the clip-ons and the fork tubes until you're doing like 50 and your handle comes off. And so I was riding. I had one hand. The clutch side was still attached to the fork tube, and then the right hand side was. And I don't know if Xavier remembers this because he probably remembers that bike. But I was braking like I had my hand out in the air, holding on to this handlebar, like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, you know. So it's pretty fun. So I took some electrical tape, tried to electrical tape it back on, limped home, and then never rode that thing again until it was sold to you. It was
sold to me.
It was it was not a good idea.
Yeah. Did you let me know any of that stuff before?
Oh, I think maybe I texted you about it, but I knew you were gonna take it apart, so it's not a big deal.
Right.
I care about you.
All right. Trying to I just stick another battery in my GoPro and trying to get that fired back up. Looks like we're up. And the POV camera that we got over here, we're gonna get up nice and close. Unfortunately, it does have about a 3 or 4 second delay, so that'll be fine though. And so we're just gonna keep on racing, keep racking up some Moto bucks, and we're gonna rip these things apart. I'm gonna grab a screwdriver and a pair of gloves.
How far down are you gonna get? Are you gonna pull the bowl off, take out the pilot screw, take out the jets and all that? Or are you like just doing basic stuff? Are you gonna blast it out with carb cleaner? Are you gonna soak them?
So this this episode, I'll be breaking them down pretty much as far as we can get them, for just depending on how much time and how much problems I run into. And the next episode, they will be cleaned and we'll be putting them back together.
Nice.
This is kind of weird having the delay.
Oh, for like looking at what you're doing?
Yeah. So
dude, just pull those apart, pull the hammer out and just start smacking them, dude. Just get them.
I'm not even gonna worry about putting. Typically you're gonna want to be really organized with this. Usually I will have, depending on how many carburetors, in this case 4, usually I'm gonna have 4 separate little Tupperware containers that I'm gonna put all the screws, all the jets, everything from the carburetors, keeping everything separate, so when you put it back together it makes it a little bit easier and you don't get your parts mixed up. I have no idea if these are going to be hard to get apart or easy, so I guess we'll find out.
It's always fun. It's always fun, man. What's that?
How you guys like those hats?
They're awesome, brother.
Dude, they're so sweet. I love the snapbacks, and like I think my brother said on here, the 112s they're such good quality. They last forever.
I love them.
Super comfortable.
Right, race on. And
dude, Xavier won.
Xavier got see ya.
This guy like killing it, man. He got one last week too.
Yeah, he's on fire.
Points.
Dude, it's another scam, because if he wins, I'm just gonna have him send me his hat, and then I'll have one that I bought, and then one that I can just hey man, I told you about this stream, hook me up.
So we're gonna start with the bowls on the carburetor, and we're gonna start taking these apart at the bottom. Sometimes these are pretty good. One trick that I learned that's very, very handy, a lot of times if these screws, and this doesn't just work in this situation, but a lot of times, I don't know why these manufacturers love clutch heads so much that are so easy to strip out. There is a little trick. If you strip out, you can actually take the screw And I don't know if you can see that on the video, but you can take the screw, and I will actually take my hacksaw. I will cut along one of the flat sides of the Phillips. I'll take my hacksaw and I'll cut it really deep, and then just use a standard flathead screwdriver. And a lot of times you can get them to pop off that way. I had to do that plenty of times.
Oh, hi, Jamie. It's Jamie Motto's on. That's Xavier. I think that's Xavier's other half.
Oh, there you
Thanks
go.
for joining. And then Dustin, Ella is watching, and she was wondering if she can get a shout out.
Ella, all right. Hey, that's my daughter, Ella. Thanks, appreciate the support. Awesome girl. I think she's asking me, she ran out here earlier, I think, asking for it, if she can make a root beer float. So if you're still watching, Ella, ask Mom, definitely, she'll make you that root beer float.
It's always fun opening up carbs. You never know what you're gonna get.
Oh,
You don't know if someone like drove this thing through like a sawdust factory before with no air filter and just destroyed everything inside of it and clogged the jets. I went to mow my lawn the other day and I ran my mower down to empty the time before because I'm like dumb like that. And it picked up some debris or something at the bottom of my tank and my mower wouldn't start. So I had to pull my carb and it was one small speck of dirt that was keeping my mower from running. So it's super good to know how to take these off and how to work on them and how easy it is if you just take into account like, hey, I took this off of here and I got to put it back here.
Right.
You know, the pilot screw is kind of a big deal because, and I'm sure you're going to talk about this. I'm sorry if I'm getting ahead, but you know, making sure you count those turns and everything with your pilot screw for your air fuel mixture.
Yep. Today we're pretty much going to be. This brings a good point too. If you have a screw that's getting stuck, immediately stop trying to get it out. Throw some penetrating oil on it, WD-40, PB Blaster, whatever you got. Just let it soak. Well, you're not gonna run into stripping screws out.
I like the way you're actually. See, this is something that I would definitely need to like take my time and watch you do it a few times to be able to learn.
Oh, absolutely. I'd be definitely taking a lot of pictures on my way through.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That definitely helps. And for the most part, carburetors are going to be pretty similar. Now, this is what I'm about to show you is, isn't a whole lot different than your lawnmower carburetor. Like I said, a lot of them work on the same principles. So this is good. A lot of times, you can just keep jamming like carb cleaner, full system cleaner, all that stuff down there. Sometimes you'll get stuff broke free, but a lot of times it's easier just to put in some effort and work and see what you got. So I'm not going to get too crazy. I'm going to start by taking off just two sides. Now this airbox, I don't know if you noticed on carburetors, airbox kind of serves as the backbone carburetor, kind of holding them all together, minus the fuel line. So I'm not going to get too crazy. Maybe we'll get a couple of them off all the way, but that's one thing that's different about this. And a lot of setups, you're always gonna see something. But for the most part, if you know what you're looking at, you're gonna have the same. Oh, I'm kind of nervous to open these up.
Hey, Dustin, Jessica was wondering if you could give a shout out to Dylan, her son. He's also watching.
Is that who's that? Is his son?
Jessica.
Yeah, Dylan. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Dylan. Thanks. Appreciate the support, Dylan. Thanks for checking us out.
He's watching. He's definitely watching. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Dylan, Tyler, and Jay Lee. All three of you guys. Your guys are awesome.
Awesome.
Nice.
There you
Took a
go.
break from the scooter riding, huh? And now they're watching Dustin pull some carburetors apart.
Yeah, I gotta get on my mechanic skills to fix the scooter.
I am ridiculously amazed. I cannot believe how clean these carburetors are. Just first take. I have no idea if this bike was sitting for 5 years, 7 years, or whatever. But you've seen the video.
Definitely, by looking at it, you would never think that would be that clean.
It's horrendous. So
Yeah, like black widows and everything.
Hey, welcome to the show, Tyler Moss.
Tyler's wondering where the ruckus is.
Yeah,
Hey.
ruckus.
Tyler in the house. Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing up, buddy. Appreciate the support. Awesome. Hey, you can bring that ruckus over here. We'll work on that any day. I'm sure there'll be some viewers that would like that. I think this guy's he's had a ruckus apart in pieces for I don't know how long. I don't know how long, Moss, but he's at it, and I bother him every weekend. Say, hey, bring that over to my house. We'll get it put it back together, and we'll not ride wheelies because that ain't gonna happen on a ruckus. But,
Dude, you could take it. You could definitely take it to 12 on a ruckus.
Right.
So Xavier was saying, is this considered a deep clean, or could you clean the carbs on a bike? I don't know if you want to take that.
Say again.
So Xavier was asking, is this considered a deep clean, or could you clean the carbs on a bike, like as they're sitting on a bike?
Great question. So a lot of it, depending on the carburetors and where they're at, a lot of your inline fours, your lawnmowers, your whatever, a lot of times you can actually get to the screws on the bottom of the fuel bowl, like here. And if you can get those screws off, then a lot of times you actually can have access to the jets that are in the carburetor. And a lot of times, if you can get those out, then you can just, like I said, either buy a carb kit, throw some new ones in it, or just clean them out, blow them out with the air compressor. I will warn you, though, because I have done this multiple times, and every single time I do it, I tell myself I'm not going to do it again. One of the things that people usually do, right? They soak their jets in some carb cleaner or whatever, and they're all nice and pretty. And then they grab their air compressor, holding it in one hand, give it a little and guess where it goes?
It goes in the place you never find them. Yes.
Exactly.
Oblivion.
It'll end up in a pile of leaves in your front lawn.
Yeah,
you can ask my daughter, because I've actually had her searching through a pile of leaves.
I remember that one.
Jets before. So definitely hold on tight if you're going to use that air compressor to blast them out.
Hey, can you put a carburetor, like, the carburetor cleaner that they use for the cars? I mean, is that something that you could do for a motorcycle?
Yeah, so it's a lot of it's typically the same. The only thing that you have to be careful of is a lot of that. A lot of the highly corrosive carb cleaner, or sometimes people use brake cleaner or whatever. You have to be really careful on what you're hitting, because as you take these carburetors apart, a lot of times there are certain diaphragms and things that those chemicals can be harmful to. So if you're taking pieces off like this bowl or the jets or whatever, you can use that carb cleaner in there. You can actually spray them into the jets. Anywhere that the fuel typically is going is usually going to be okay for using cleaner to clean out. But great question. So this part here, this is the
all right, everybody, type exclamation point race to start the race.
There we go. So, Dustin, are those pretty clean? Is it pretty clean inside? I can see a little bit on the camera.
So I'm going to show you the bowls. So the bowls,
yeah, that's what I want to see.
When you pull those off, that's going to show you pretty much how gunky they are. And because most of it's going to be sitting right along in the bottom. And these aren't too bad. I've seen a lot worse. This right here, this is going to be the main jet, and that's the dirtiest of them. And then you have your pilot jet. So your pilot jet is going to be basically, think of what I was talking about before with the Venturi effect. So the pilot jet is going to be pulling fuel into your motor at low RPM or idle speed, and it's going to be basically using the back pressure from your cylinders combusting. That's going to pull that, and so that is initially what gets it started. The main jet is going to have a big needle that goes down through it, and as the vacuum comes up in the engine, it'll pull that the cylinder with the needle going down in your main jet. It'll pull that, open up wider, allow more and more fuel. Your butterfly valve will open up, and that's kind of the quickest explanation I can give you on the jets. Let's see, this right here, this is your float. So these are actually really important because this is what allows fuel to go into the bottom of the carburetor. And what it does is, as it's sitting, I don't know if you can see it if I turn it over. Probably not. I'm gonna have to show it upside down. But so this carburetor is upside down. So just picture it the other way up. So this would, when the carburetor gets empty on fuel, then these will come down lower, and they'll open up a valve and let fuel in. And that's really important because as the carburetor itself fills up with gas, then these will push down like this. They'll close that valve, so it won't nonstop be filling with gas, because if that happens and you have a leak in your carburetor somewhere, it'll actually just continue to slowly fill your cylinder or the rest of your engine, your crankcase, with gasoline. And so having your float set right and having that closed whatever, you guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah. So what I do with mine when I pull my floats out is I'll take that pin out, and then I always dip my floats. So if they get a hole in them, kind of like what Dustin's talking about, they obviously won't float, and which is not a good thing. So I always dip mine. If it's an old bike, like if it's a bike I'm working on, I dip mine, let them sit overnight, and that makes sure. I mean, they're probably still good, but it actually seals them, even more. It's like double protection. And a lot of people don't do that, which is totally fine. Some of us are just more technically advanced than other people. It's not a big deal. But I always dip mine because you don't want that happening and then having to pull them out again. But yeah, those don't look bad. Stick it in there and wheelie that thing, man.
I mean, the main jet looks pretty nasty, but actually good. So I'm gonna pull out the main jet right now. So there's a few different parts that that's completely fucked. Normally, you can see this on the camera. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys, you actually had a question. They asking Tyler Moss is asking, what do you mean by dip them?
So I dip them in, have you ever seen? It's not Plasti Dip. I can't remember what it's called, but have you seen things like Plasti Dip? Like you can actually dip them so it just seals them. So you still have, your plastic floats. Your floats are made out of plastic. Some of them I think are actually made out of, or some of them made out of brass. Have you ever seen brass, like a brass float, Dustin?
What's that?
Have you ever seen brass floats?
I think in cars I've seen them.
Yeah,
no,
so
I haven't. Maybe on some of the older ones, but I haven't personally seen any.
Yeah, so like with some of these, with most of these carbs, they're plastic. So you can actually dip them and then let them sit overnight and they dry. So it just gives you added protection. So let's say maybe, let's
like
say
an extra coating.
Exactly. Maybe you do have a hole. I'm not going to go out and buy a new float. I'm going to plastic dip it because I'm not very good at life. So,
Well, plus it's money saver too, right?
All right, well, the race is on. And the winner is Jamie Moto.
Dude, 2 races, one household.
40 Moto.
Congrats, Jamie. Good job.
Woo!
Racking up the Moto bucks.
Get those bucks in, guys.
All right.
Dude, that's Xavier's fiance. Like, there's something going on over there, man.
Yeah.
Oui.
Got those cheat codes, I guess, huh?
So,
there you go.
Just kidding.
What is that? Is that the main jet?
So that's the main jet, and there's 2 parts to the main jet. I'm trying to get a good. So if you look at the very end right there, that part will actually come out, and I'll take that out in a second to show you. And then if you look at the side of it, It's gonna be really hard. You see the holes there? There's like little holes in the side of it. So
It looks like
down
a blue.
through
Yeah,
this,
there are.
so down through this is the needle valve, and that will feed in there, and it's tapered. As the engine RPMs go up and vacuum is created, that pulls itself out, allowing more and more fuel to go through this main jet and out these holes on the side. That's where the majority of your gas to air mixture is going to be combusting in your engine. And I'm going to grab a little wrench to pull this apart for you guys.
Yeah, dude. When you take it to 12, like when you scrape that back fender doing wheelies down the street, down the highway, don't do that. But
Don't do that. No.
We're not promoting that, are we?
No.
Dude, but there are people wheeling all kinds of stuff nowadays, man. There's people wheeling like full. I love watching dudes wheelie baggers, like Harley baggers. I think it's hilarious. It's so awesome.
Oh, it's funny.
But I would never want to drop one of those.
No.
So another handy tool is if you don't want to clean all your parts, you don't want to buy new gas or new jets, all that stuff. Something that's really handy is one of these tanks of parts cleaner. Obviously, if you have an ultrasonic cleaner, you throw it in that. But like I said, we're trying to do stuff on the cheap, and that'll be one of my next purchases probably. But right now, I'm just using one of these parts cleaner kits, and they are the first time I used one of these. Have you ever used one of these, Ed?
Yeah, so I've used them a few times. I just usually just blast stuff out with carb cleaner, which is not the right way to do it. But yeah,
literally, if you just grab one of these buckets, it's full of nasty chemicals, and it's got a little nice fun tray in it. And basically, you just throw your parts in there, and you let them soak, and you pull them back out a couple hours later, and they are literally like crystal clean. So that jet was pretty nasty, so I couldn't get it quite apart. They are brass, so you definitely don't want to crank on them. If they're not coming apart, just give it a rest, let them soak for a while, and go work on something else.
Yeah, that stuff works. This stuff is very effective, to say the least. That will definitely clean out all the jets and everything.
Yeah. And it's very handy that it has a little bucket with it like that. You could just dip it and then pull it out without getting your hands all dirty. And
Oh yeah, it's awesome. You can take all that stuff out of all those carbs, and if you make sure that, obviously you have everything. If you want to do them separate or whatever, you can stick it all in there, let it sit, bring it out, and they're just like brand new.
And I'm pretty sure it'll work with any other like metal parts, small enough to fit in there. But yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that fits into.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm such an impatient person, and this is probably why my projects always is because I just try to do things as quick as possible. And lately, I've been learning like patience is definitely a virtue when it comes to this stuff, and using that product really cleans a lot of stuff. You see results quite a bit with it. Instead of having to pull a carburetor off like 4 or 5 times, like the last project I did, it was such a pain.
So it being the season finale, I guess, or whatever, for our first live stream.
Are we gonna do the race right now?
No.
Oh.
It's a good time to talk about maybe funny things that have happened. You can think of any?
What?
All the funny things that happened on the stream.
I liked when Dangler. Can I bring this up?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead,
dude. When it was the first live stream that we had, and you were like, "Hey, Dangler, how much time do we have left for that race?" And Dangler was like, 10 minutes. Dude, the level of commitment was just like, I have no idea how long until this race, but I'm gonna throw this out there, and I love that. It was like, you know what? I'm going to throw this Hail Mary, and I'm going to stick with it. I thought it was great. I love that. I've watched that part so many times. I think it's great.
I mean, I had to, Dustin was asking me. I was on the spot. I was like, I have no clue. Here it goes. But I love how I just rolled off his back. He was like, it's like 3 minutes, guys.
Yo, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good, dude. Joe, I'm so excited. To watch this next one.
Oh yeah,
because you didn't know that you had your
No.
or that your mic was muted. It was so funny.
I thought it was. I mean, I hit something going on with these headsets we got. I'm telling you, because I pushed that mute button back. Thank God I didn't say anything.
I think there's a lot of.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was unexpected.
That's so funny, man.
Yeah. I don't even know. I mean, I gotta like rewatch it and see what the heck did I say.
Oh, you're just talking
more
about that
kid, yeah.
That front end, dude. That's what.
Yeah, the wheel. Yeah, he wanted me to tie it up since I put it too tight, and now there was an issue with that too.
Dude, it was so funny. He's like, it's really only happens when I go fast, and I like really like to go fast on stuff. Like, yes, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if you're gonna go, you might as well go fast.
You know, that's one thing that has been beneficial in my family with this whole situation going on, pandemic. My kids actually they learn how to ride bike without training wheels. They learn how to ride skateboard. They've been a lot more outdoorsy than they usually are. So that's I'm pretty happy about that. You know,
that's awesome.
That's how we were raised. You know, we weren't raised all day and inside the house and like just being in front of a computer. We were probably in front of like a game console or something like that. But we had more time and play more outside than this new generation.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where it's at. We grew up. Man, I don't think I ever like put shoes on the regular until I was in like 3rd grade.
Dude, I was like the jungle boy. I was raised in Puerto Rico in the mountains, and I used to like climb trees and grab snakes and all that. And, like, you know.
Yeah. Yes, snakes, man. Snakes are.
It took me a while to get used to civilization.
Dustin, can you move that carb over just a little bit?
Yeah.
Just center on the camera. Sorry.
Real quick, I'm going to show you guys because let's see. So real quick, I couldn't get the main jets taken apart. So we'll show that on the next video. So I'm going to move on to something else, which was what Ed was talking about earlier. So we're going to take these floats off. Basically, there's a pin that sits through here, and every single carburetor is the same that has these floats in it. They all have a little metal pin. You have to be pretty careful getting them out because sometimes you can break. Well, I don't know what you call them. What the go through. So you got to be really careful. I actually took just very carefully. I took a pair of vice grips, stripped the end, and just pulled it straight out. Sometimes they will pull straight out like that, and sometimes they won't. And I just happen to get lucky too. I'm gonna take the float out now, and you're gonna see on here. So this is the float, and so this is the part where this will make contact. It's tapered on the end, and this will make contact with the hole that lets the fuel come in, and it will pivot on that joint, and so it'll that little valve will go up and down and close and open for, like I said, letting fuel in and out.
Nice.
Be really careful with those. Like these can be brittle depending on how old the bike is, what kind of gas you're using in it, and you definitely don't want to get any pinholes or anything in those. If they do have any fuel inside of them, you just toss them out and get some new ones.
Unless you're Sam Bob. Then you try to salvage them, and then they don't work, and then you have to pull the carbs again. And then you light the bike on fire and throw it away. We're at 67 minutes, Dustin.
67 minutes?
Yeah, it looks like also the track is being cleared right now.
Okay.
Yeah, another race.
I'm gonna pull open the top of this carburetor, and then we're gonna get to the final race.
Final race, ladies and gentlemen. Are you all ready? This is the big one. This one is for the price of all prices.
Also, we do have, if you are interested, we are giving away the hat today for the champion of the month. But if you are interested in the hats, you can go to my website. It's www.project-moto.com, and it's listed in the description of this video. And you can go ahead and go to that website, and you can purchase whatever color you want. We do only have one size right now, and it's the one size fits most is what they call it. I know I have it like weirdly shaping head. A lot of hats don't fit me. These fit me awesome. I love them.
Yeah, they're pretty comfortable as well. I'm not a hat guy, and I threw that one mine in, and like, yep, fit like a champ.
So here I opened up the top of it, and it's gonna have the spring, and then here's your diaphragm that goes up and down. I don't know if I can get my finger in there to kind of demonstrate what happens.
What is that there?
That's spring.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'll be scared. I was like, what did that? What?
So these
Remember those? Was it Jack in the Box or something like that? That used to be back in the day. Used to give you with inside a can, and you open it, and the spring comes out.
Yeah, I think so. Like the worst thing to give somebody.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Like, oh, here's a sweet toy. Oh yeah, yeah. Here's a sweet toy. Also, joke's on you.
All right. So I got this one out, and I'll show you guys what happens here. So remember me talking earlier about the so this will be the, I'll show it on this camera up here. Kind of hesitant. I got I got WD-40 and everything, PB blaster all over my computer, so I have to be a little bit more careful. But basically, so this is what I was talking about earlier. This is the needle valve that's tapered, that's going to go down through your main jet, and the vacuum will pull this cylinder up, and that taper will allow more and more fuel. And usually, if you buy a carb kit, it'll come with the needles. It'll come with usually the bowl gaskets like that. All your screws, your jets, and all that. I do highly recommend, though, if you're gonna pull your carbs completely apart like this, the best thing to do, honestly, is just go ahead and buy a manual. Get one for your bike that's gonna talk, because there's a lot of little things that you may not quite catch, even if you're really familiar with carburetors. And one of the things is, oh, it's getting dark over in here. One of the things is that there's some things that you may just not catch, like I was telling Sam Bob the other day, on a lot of like the V twins, the what is it, the back cylinder, or the cylinder that's towards the back of the bike, that jet is going to be slightly larger than the one on the front, because the gas helps cool the cylinder more, and since it's the V-twin, since it's the cylinder in the back, it's not catching as much of that air as the front cylinder, allowing it to stay cooler. So there is a difference sometimes, even though they're two identical carburetors. Sometimes something as little as just one of the jets being a different size is important. You will find all of that if you have a manual.
And they're like torqued, are the screws supposed to be torqued in a specific poundage and all that as well?
Typically, no. You kind of get a feel. You kind of get a feel. The thing is with the brass jets,
yeah,
you have to be really careful. You don't want to really torque it. You can kind of feel when it's going to be tight, and the brass, it kind of has a little grip to it that you can feel.
Yeah,
and
some kind of
I guess you just have to do it a couple times.
All right, everyone to the line. Lights up. And the winner, Alicia Atkins. So, ladies and gentlemen, she has become the winner of season 1 giveaway. Congratulations, Alicia.
No, we haven't done that yet.
Never mind then.
That
All
was
that
just-
excitement.
Oh snap!
Well then.
That was just a race. We got to do the tally for the points here.
Oh my God. Sorry.
Okay. So hold up here. I'm going
Well.
to shut off the race. Our final finale race. We're gonna do how many points?
Let's go big. Let's go big.
Going big.
Not too big, but big.
Going big. Well, let's look
50?
at the loot over here. We'll see how much, because we want to have some contenders. So
Yeah, absolutely.
we're gonna check out, see.
Alicia. I apologize.
check out who's like
All right.
third and fourth. You know.
Okay, so we got Xavier. He's at 690 right now. Is that right? Has that updated since?
Yeah, that's pretty up to date.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I would
I just
say
wanna
no one
make
else.
sure
probably, yeah.
Yeah, nobody else has called you out for the or the let's see. So you're good.
All right, just want to make sure. Yeah, we got Alicia, the winner of that last race. She's got 282. We're gonna have to make this a big one because we have Xavier, we have Olivia. I'm not sure, is my daughter on? Olivia?
Nope.
Nope.
She's not on. So we got Kyle. He's at 415. We got Lance at 350. If we do like a, I would say, I don't know, 60-point race, maybe
75.
75? Should we do 75?
75.
Let's go 75. Yeah,
All right, we're gonna do
75 will make it.
75. Okay,
It makes it very interesting.
so we're gonna do that. Let's see, we will
I mean-
do. We're gonna do a
Now,
3-minute cooldown and a 3-minute cooldown and a 2-minute start delay. So this season 1 Project Moto Grand Prix Championship is going to end in 5 minutes.
5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
110. But here's the thing. So like Joel's checking his right now with
Yeah.
a 75-point race and 13 people in here. Like
Yeah.
anybody, it's open to anybody winning.
Right.
So like that's pretty substantial. So back to what, and I know Dustin, we had talked about this.
Yep.
One of the biggest things that I've noticed, like, I mean, main jets, you screw in a main jet, it's a main jet. Like pilot adjustments, that's the really big one. So making sure that you count the turns either in or out and knowing
Right.
where your idle adjustment is supposed to be for your air fuel mixture. That's where I always pull a manual out unless I'm running a bigger main jet because I have pipes and an intake. Something I always reference from the manual, like you were talking about earlier.
So real quick, I'm gonna get on my bike before this race starts.
Oh,
here.
are you bringing it back?
So we're gonna bring out the old undefeated Digicati, beautiful red, wonderful machine. All right.
So now the race is on. So everybody type that exclamation point race to get in on this.
Everybody, this is it.
we got Joe, we got Tyler, we got Jamie. Who else?
Xavier, Aaron.
Oh, there we go. Keep the hat on backwards. Get ready to race.
Oh.
Better get ready.
Are you gonna be a pace motorcycle for this race? Cause you.
Yeah,
Baby.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're getting ready. Got a lot of people in this one. This is the big
That's right.
one. This is the big one. Make sure I put 75. I don't want to mess this up. All right. Yep. Looks like 75. It's gonna be. I'm getting excited. We'll put some music on. We'll get some
Yeah, I guess
Go.
music.
jams.
Rock on, boy, rock on.
Who's it gonna be?
Damas y caballeros. Todos listos.
Anticipation.
Yes.
See, we have a lot of people. Pretty much everyone is signed up there. Hey, thanks again, Moss. I appreciate you being here on the live stream. Really appreciate the support. Jessica, Aaron, Xavier, Jamie, Kyle, Alicia, Amy, Joel, everybody. Thanks. Really appreciate it.
The suspense.
The suspense, he says.
Yes.
Oh, I can't handle it. So also, just wanna give a shout out to everybody. If you weren't able to make it on the stream, I really appreciate everyone for the first 4 weeks.
Are everyone's in line?
Here we go.
Oh!
Joel! 600 Whoppers.
There you go.
All right.
So wait, so he had 110 before this, and he just scored 600. Does that? I mean, it's got to put him above
I'll look at the score right
690.
now. We'll pull it
Because
up.
everyone that joined the
final
race
tally.
bet their own money. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
Dude, that's
yeah.
where it's at.
All right. I'm going to pull up the final.
Congratulations.
Garcia. He's upset. He is upset.
Dude, Xavier, I will give you one, dude. Give me $25 and then I'll send you.
All right, I'm going to pull it up right now. Let's see. We got Joel Eid at 645. If Xavier wouldn't have even raced in that one, he
Oh my
probably would have won.
God.
Oh, that's awful. Sorry about that. Sorry for the luck, buddy. And Joel pulls it out. So, Joel, go ahead and you can go to my website, and it has my email on it. Go ahead and send me an email with your address, and we're going to get that hat. Also, let me know what color you want. On the website, it's got all 4 colors that you guys can take a look at. If you want to just email me, my address is dustin@project-moto.com. Go ahead and email me that stuff. I'm going to get it sent right away in the mail and get that hat out to you guys. Really appreciate everybody. Once again, thank you to Neighbor Joe 101. Appreciate the help, buddy.
Anytime, brother.
We got Von Dangler. Once again, thanks for being on the line.
Absolutely a pleasure, sir.
And as always, we got Sam Bob. Thanks for being here, buddy. Appreciate all you guys. Appreciate all your help, all the fans, everything. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Always good to be here. Always exciting. And yeah, I really appreciate you letting us join you with this.
Definitely really enjoy it.
All right, so don't forget, if you want to check out those hats, go to our website. It'll be in the description below. We are going to take a little segue here. This will be the final episode of this season. We're going to break everything down into seasons. Depending on the schedule, it'll be 4 to 5 to 6 weeks on a season. Just depends on how it works with everybody else. But we're going to take a week off. We have a lot of videos and content that are going to be coming out, trying to push out our build series so we can actually show you what we're working on these bikes and just spreading the content out. So we're going to take this week off to push out some of that stuff and get everything aligned. Coming back in 2 weeks for season 2 of the Project Moto Grand Prix Championship. We're going to give away more prizes, and we'll see you guys then. Appreciate it, guys. Have a great Memorial weekend.
Please be advised. By recreating some activities performed in this video, you may pose a risk to yourself or others. We are not professionals, and our opinions and our actions are provided solely for the entertainment purposes only. Blah, 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 blah.
Ella,
What?
you give me a Band-Aid?
Yeah.